sticking with the channel even when I've been on such a long hiatus at the time. Or, even though I've been on such a long hiatus. I really do appreciate all the comments I've gotten checking up on me in the meantime, and it's really nice to see that you all genuinely enjoy the stuff I've been putting out. And, well, I figured I'd keep with the theme of World of Tanks as of recently, and I'll come back with probably the best game I've played in quite a long time. Doubly so because, just like YouTube, I've been taking quite the break from World of Tanks. I just started playing recently during holiday ops again, and it's probably after like a month, but I just wanted to put this new intro out here, like I said, just to thank everybody again. But I can't really promise a schedule as of right now, in regards to uploads, unfortunately. So, as of right now, I just have to say, new videos, whenever they happen, I guess. But I've got some other things planned. I've got, Kingdom Come Deliverance on the PC, as well as Subnautica. But I figured just to dip my toes back into things with some World of Tanks, since there's already some on the channel, and I actually enjoy playing the game, believe it or not. Well, I enjoy playing it sometimes. But without further ado, here's probably the best game I've played, not by numbers per se, but by result. As they say, it's not about the destination, but the journey. And this match of World of Tanks was truly an emotional journey for me. Okay, so I'm just going to pause things right off the bat here. Here we are in a tier 8 match with me in the Type 63. Ironically, a loot box tank from last year's Holiday Ops. And for those of you who may not know, Holiday Ops is a World of Tanks Christmas event. And they sell loot boxes for the Christmas season, etc., etc. But I decided to play the old Christmas tank, and my buddy, Elias, is in the new Christmas tank over there, the XM57. See if I remember how to do free cam. I might have to cut this part out while I figure out how to activate my mods. I am genuinely struggling. Maybe since it's free camera. Okay, I'm not gonna do anything crazy with free camera then. But as you can see, it's really good matchmaking. Only one artillery and all tier 8 tanks in the battle. And I'm in the Type 63, a fairly mediocre tier 8 premium heavy tank. But situationally it can be an extremely strong heavy tank, and I'm going to exploit that situation. Unfortunately for Elias in the XM57, my clanmate and platoon mate for this battle, and best online buddy, he is currently AFK. I think he had to get a panini he was making, but he comes back and plays a very major role in the battle. And you may also notice, if you follow my cursor down to this Udez, he is indeed AFK and will remain AFK for the entirety of the battle. And to get to the battle, we are currently on Redshire. Not really one of my favorite maps. I feel it's a little congested if you're playing a heavy tank, if I'm honest with you. But overall, not an awful map. You know, it's not like Sand River or Paris or Overlord or one of the other myriad of genuinely horrific creations that wargaming has inflicted upon its player base. But to go over the Type 63 briefly, the Type 63 is a what you would call a oscillating turret heavy tank. The gun and the turret is made into one, and the gun itself does not elevate or depress. The entire turret does. And as you might expect from a tank with this sort of playstyle, the turret armor is quite strong, but the hull armor is fairly weak. The Type 63 deals, I believe, 290 average damage out of a 90mm gun, which is inconsistent with other 90 mils. But it's got awful damage per minute, and two gimmicks, I guess you could say. Two gimmicks. One would be the gun cooling mechanic, which is, as you can see right here, this little green square means the gun has cooled, and you get an improved accuracy value, but unfortunately you have to wait 12.5 seconds for that to happen. Another thing about this tank is that it gets hydro-pneumatic suspension. So while the gun itself can only depress to a maximum of 10 degrees, the suspension on the tank can adjust itself. As you can see, the back has lifted up and the front has hunkered down to give you an extra 2 degrees of gun depression for a total of 12. And this happens automatically. It's not something the player activates, which can lead to very frustrating moments. But as you can see, I tried to peek this hill, and it didn't work out very well. I exposed my lower plate and got shot. Now, for those of you who don't know, the best way to play Redshire in a standard match is to be extremely passive. And recognizing this, I play Redshire in an extremely passive way. I camp behind this hill. I camp behind this hill here and wait for the enemy to push through into this area so I can then shoot them, or even better, wait for them to push on top of the rubble pile with the Zeppelin so I can shoot them from this position, and then we have support from the Vipera, pressure onto that position, and ideally maybe the Udez if he wasn't AFK, or my buddy Elias if he wasn't AFK, could also support from back here, further putting pressure on this open area immediately past the choke point. But ultimately playing passively is boring, and I've got a kind of a monkey brain, so I want to do damage. I want numbers to come up, and I try peeking this angle again, thinking maybe I'll be able to get a better shot over this little suppression over here, but I can't. I'm trying to get the suspension to drop at just the right angle, but it won't. So I decide, at some point I just decide simply to wait. After bouncing fairly, luckily I bounced that shot. It probably should have done some damage to me, but I simply decide to wait. There's nothing much I can do. As a paper-hulled heavy tank with very low DPM, I can't push in where the T-77 is. I can't trade very effectively with the Type 63 because of the low alpha damage at, it won't tell me, I believe it's 260 or something like that. It's less than 300 alpha, so you can't trade with anybody besides the M3Y, and even then, maybe not even, because if he's using the 120mm gun, which he isn't, by the way, he's using the 90mm, you know, that's still not the best of trades, because if I low roll a couple damage rolls, now we're trading even, and he's got better DPM, he can push me at some point. It's a quicker heavy tank, more nimble, with better overall gun handling. But in this spot, I'm looking at obviously the heavies, but I'm also keeping in mind the middle of the map, because one thing I can do while I'm waiting for an opportunity to present itself is to peek on this side, because our ELC's over here, and see if anybody's moving around. But he's so far forward and the enemies are so far back, peeking on the side of the hill toward the middle is just a useless venture. So I just chill out. Looking at the tanks, I really don't expect us to win this side of the map. You know, 2 autoloaders trying to defend. 3 actually. 3 autoloaders. The Vipera, the AMX 5100, and the T-77 all are autoloaders. It's only me and the XM57 that are not autoloading tanks. And they all the enemy tanks are standard tanks. So hypothetically speaking, there could be a situation where they know all 3 of those tanks are on reload for the clip, and then push in and kill them. Maybe 1 at a time, maybe 2 at a time. You know? And me and the XM can't effectively cover that, because in the time it takes for them to focus down the AMX 5100, me and the XM would get off 1 shot, maybe a piece, and it just, you know, we trade an entire tank and we trade 2 shots of damage. It wouldn't work out. But now the enemy team are making the crucial mistake in World of Tanks, and that is being aggressive. World of Tanks really rewards very passive, very defensive play, and you're about to see why. As you can see, this M3Y is now pushing in the middle of this Zeppelin, which is a good enough position, I guess, but the IS-3 and the XM are also threatening to push around either side of the rock, overwhelming us. But the thing is, I can simply, you know, stay hull down on this little ridge here, on this little hill, if I play it correctly, which I didn't. He managed to get a shot into my track before he pulled back far enough, because I was trying to get a shot in the XM57 and IS-3. But here we are. Now I'm hull down. He can't penetrate my hull because it's hidden behind this ridge. And the way he's peeking, I can see that section of exposed hull of his tank. So I can just kill him. I have no idea what that XM57 was smoking, but as you can see, this is an awful position for his tank. There is absolutely no way any return fire could actually damage me from that spot. The way I'm utilizing the gun depression. I'll get to the link 6x6 in a second, by the way. He timed that push perfectly. And I don't know if you noticed, but at this time my platoon mate Elias has woken up and gotten his panini and has come back to play the game. And he's the one who actually spotted the Lynx 6x6 pushing us down through the river into our position. But back to the 3 tanks in front of us. The XM is not doing a very good job, because if he peeks to get his gun on target, his lower hull is exposed, and there's weak spots around the gun itself at this angle. But Redshire is a fairly good map in that there's attacking ideas and attacking opportunities if the game is going like this, and the Lynx found one. If you come down into this river, it is at such an angle to where you're most likely not going to get spotted until you're on top of the defending position here, if you're in a quick enough tank. So that's what the Lynx was trying to exploit here. But unfortunately for the Lynx, well, fortunately for the Lynx, he kills the XM57. And it's about now I realize, actually no, not really, because I'm trying to shoot the IS-3, because I view this as a bigger threat. But he kills the Vipera. I don't even notice him actually, I don't think. Yeah, I don't even see the Lynx until right about now, from what I remember. Because now Elias is yelling at me in Discord, you know, about this guy. I missed a shot because I hit the wreck, but luckily the T-77 kills the guy and he goes flying. But now you can see how the position has kind of collapsed, and now I'm still at 75% health, and these guys have to push into me somehow. They really can't, because not only is our artillery really on the ball, you know, it's just a bad position for them to push into. Unfortunately, the T-77 decides to YOLO in, and right here you can see kind of the weakness of the Type 63. That is very poor gun elevation. I'm trying my hardest to shoot the T-44, but I can't, because this gun bustle is just in the way, and I can't get the gun high enough to actually shoot him. And I have to essentially back off, because typically in Redshire you have TD support from here and from this, where is it? This position over here. So I can't really be here because I'll be shot from multiple angles if the TDs are paying attention, which I guess they aren't. So I decide to move backward and go back to the known defensive position, which is this ridge line. Because if this T-44 wants to attack me, which he does, he has to expose himself no matter where he tries to push to me, while I am able to shoot him essentially for free. Both fortunately and unfortunately, the AMX CDA 105 is pushed up behind that rock there. I say it's fortunate that he pushed to this position for 2 reasons. One, if I peek around this corner, this side, over here, now he can't support the T-44 from this position. And number 2, he can't support the middle of the map anymore because this hill is in his way. Of course, it can come up and over, but that means he gets spotted by our TDs and ELC, even 90 from the middle, when he does that. So in reality, he's weakened his team's position by coming to this rock, and in effect is doing nothing with this aggressive play because neither he nor the T-44 seem very eager to push me. While I have the game paused, I feel I should give an update on the state of the game. They've counterattacked on the one line and the middle, and now it's not so certain who's going to really win this game. It's very close right now. But Elias is trying his hardest in the XM57 to shut down any aggressive maneuvering. Now he's talking to me in Discord asking where exactly the AMX is because he wants to shoot him. But I'm telling him he's behind the hill, he can't shoot him. Focus on the center of the map. I can deal with this. At least for a little bit. Now here I am, trying to move around, get an angle on the CDA behind the rock. But I can't quite get the gun down quick enough before he scuttles off. I try to take a speculative shot, and I'm very lucky to bounce that from the T-44, who is indeed using the 120mm gun, which is probably why that shell bounced. See if we can see where it bounced. Can't really tell, but that's most likely why that snapshot bounced. If using the 100, maybe he would have hit, but should've, could've, would've. The shell misses, does no damage, and I retreat, you know. But now I know they're backing off, so now I decide to use my brain and my keyboard and rotate around to a better position to try and surprise them with an unexpected angle. And guess what? It works. Because the T-44 expects me to still be over here, and I've moved a whopping 50 feet to his left, and that was completely unexpected for him. So I get a free shot of damage. The CDA is now, this is what I mean, by the way. You can see how the CDA is over here. He wants to support the middle of the map, but he can't, because either I will spot him from here, the way the spotting mechanics work. If I peek the hill, the sight line from the gun technically hits some part of his tank and it spots him, or the ELC can spot him from mid because there's no concealment on that ridge. So he gets spotted whenever he tries to help the middle out because he's exposed. Simple as that. But now that I'm still spotted, I try and move up and make it look like I really want to stay in this position, which I kind of do at the moment, mainly because my buddy is pinging me. Elias is pinging me because he just bounced a shot from the unspotted Scorpion G, and we're arguing about where the Scorpion might be. You know, he's adamant the Scorpion's in this back corner, which he might be, but I think personally that the Scorpion is in those knocked over trees that you'll see soon. Yeah, these right here on this ridge line, right about here, because it's very common for TDs, and even when I play a heavy tank on the north side of Redshire, I will knock those trees over and wait for the lights in the middle to spot an easy target to get like 1 or maybe 2 shots of free damage at the very beginning of the game. So we all blind fire where we think the Scorpion's at. We're just pinging like crazy. Me and Elias are just like trying to figure out where this guy is. We have no idea. But I get spotted anyway, probably from the CDC, I think. But regardless, I'm rotating back around to try and, again, create an unexpected angle for anybody trying to push in. And it kind of works, because the CDA definitely thought it's still on that little ridge, so he tried to move in. knew he got spotted and backed off immediately. And I think he might be trying to go around the rock. I don't know. But as you can tell, we are losing the middle of the map. The middle of the map is pretty much gone. It's a super Pershing and the ELC even 90. Moving in against a Batchat and a Skoda. And at this point, you know, the gears are turning in my head. You can see me ping the river. Because I think maybe one of their tanks might be coming down it. You know what I mean? Because it makes sense. Maybe the T-44 is rotated around to come down it, but then I see the T-44 has come all the way back. So I'm like, maybe not. And as you can see now, this position on the far right side of the map can also support the middle of the map. Assuming I'll be able to hit my shots, which is a big assumption. But you can support middle from over here, which is why I love coming to this hill so much and heavy. But realistically, I can't really do anything. But we trade tanks. We're now on paper even in terms of material, but remember the Udez is completely AFK, so just me and my platoon mate Elias and the artillery against 4 very much alive and not AFK tanks on the enemy team. But as you can see, I'm just rotating back around to try and catch one of these guys off guard again. Because one of the biggest things you can do is just, yeah, there we go. He even was aiming at the hill. I don't know what the fuck he was thinking in that position. That was the most retarded. That was the one shot of the game that surprised the hell out of me. It was so stupid. I don't know. I don't know, we're back in the game though. So he runs off, you know. But at this point I think that, you know, I'm still trying to ping where I think the Scorpion's at. Because I want to try and blind fire him. T-44 is MIA. So I just rotate back around thinking he might pop up. And then I'm thinking again, you know, the safe way to come around on this flank is again through this river. So at some point, you know, I'm starting to think one of these guys might try and do it. But T-44 is not the one to do it. The CDA is, and he pushes my buddy Elias. Unfortunately, I'm unable to help him. But fortunately, he shoots him once, it does 700 damage and burns him down for the rest. So we trade even on paper again. But again, since Udez is AFK, you know, we're still down a tank. Now I think I can trade damage with the T-44 because he's technically a one-shot for me. But I'm unable to. I tried again. Then I see the Scorpion on the map. I flip around, he whiffs a shot into the wreck of the XM. I hit my snapshot, I turn around again to try and block the T-44, he misses. So now I'm back on the Scorpion since he's also one shot. I kill him, back on the T-44, waiting to reload. And now, I'm thinking maybe I can climb up this hill, get a good angle on him, etc, etc. And then I realize we are on a time pressure. So I say he's got 300 health, I got 900. I'm just gonna send it. I can take one from the T-44. Score's a one shot from me too, so I can just trade out and win the game. So that's what I do. I come in. I attempt to side scrape. Doesn't work, whatever. But now, I'm going through my head, it's a minute 30. I can't make it to the cap circle and cap to win. I have to kill this Skoda. Is he going to try and kill me, or is he going to try and draw the game? Either way, I have to make it over here, somewhere. So I'm like, do I come down and around, or do I go over and around and up? So I decided to do the safe route, you know what I mean? I come back toward the party, and I decide to head down toward the river. And I made that little maneuver there when I still spotted to make it look like I was just gonna push straight ahead. Ideally, the Skoda is going to be waiting somewhere like here, you know, and I pop up in the river and I kill him. But you'll see what happens. I won't even say anything. And that's that. With the 1 minute left on the clock, you know, I clinched the victory. And there we are, 3k damage, Top Gun with 6 kills, and that was actually my first mark of excellence on the tank. And with that, I want to thank everybody for making it through this video, and I hope to see you all again soon. Very soon, hopefully. I've got some plans. It's either going to be Subnautica, Kingdom Come Deliverance, or I'll try and take longer on this and make like an ASMR beginner's guide to World of Tanks, which is a game I feel more people should be into, you know, but I understand why less people are. Well, with that, I hope you have a good day or a good night, whenever or wherever you may be. I hope it's going really well for you, and I hope to see you again soon.